In today's video, we're going to be speaking about something that's much more vague than what we normally talk about, and it's this use of the word innovative, or innovate, or innovation, because I feel like it's used a lot in the tech community, and I think it's oftentimes skewed or misunderstood, and I feel like it's just worth making a dedicated video about, because I have a lot of thoughts on the use of this word and how often we throw this word out. We're going to be looking at the concrete definition of what it means, so that we can figure out when it's appropriate and not appropriate to use. And no, it's not just as simple as Apple's innovative and everybody else isn't, or Apple used to be innovative and now everybody else is. It's not going to be as simple as that. So without further ado, let's begin. The first thing I want to get out of the way when we start today's video is the definition of innovative. If you look it up, it's literally just featuring new methods or being advanced and original. That can mean including new ideas with original and creative thinking. And as soon as you read that definition, you'll realize that's incredibly vague. As soon as I change the background of my video, as soon as I change the music, that suddenly technically does make it innovative because it's featuring new methods. Or if I change out the microphone I use to record these videos, or change out the camera, or apply some different editing styles to my videos, that by all means is innovative. It may not be the type of innovative you all imagine. When you hear the word innovative, you think of Johnny Ive, you think of revolutionary new technologies, whether it be the iPhone, the iPad, or more recently devices that Oppo has made with pop-up cameras, or Xiaomi with their 180-degree displays, or as I recently talked about a lot, the Galaxy Fold with its bendable display. This is the first time I'm actually going to admit this, because I've been doing some research on this video. I wanted to really plan for it. I even have some notes that I want to reference here. But for the first time on camera, I am going to admit that products like the Xiaomi 180-degree phone or the Galaxy Fold, these products are innovative because they are using new methods that are advanced and we haven't seen before, and while they may be creative, I don't think that necessarily makes them good. The misuse of the word innovation, I don't actually think stems from people not understanding what the definition is. Most people understand that innovative simply means new and something we really haven't seen before. I think the misuse of the word innovation comes from people assuming that if it is innovative, then therefore it is good. That's where I'll respectfully disagree, and I'll tell you why. Innovation in itself is not actually a selling point. It can be a description of good selling points. However, being innovative can only help you make good selling points. It does not guarantee you good selling points just by trying new things or new methods. So I'm going to list you a few examples of products that you may not think of that would technically be innovative, but that doesn't necessarily make them good. And understand that I am exaggerating examples to make my point across. These are not literal examples that I'm saying should happen. I'm just trying to make the point that you can be innovative and bad. For instance, an axe can be made of wood. That's innovative. You don't see a lot of axes at the store that are made of wood. So that's a new technique, that's a new method to making an axe, but that doesn't necessarily make the axe good, because soon as you start to try to chop wood with it, it's not going to do a very good job. Or if we're talking more about smartphones in general, let's imagine a smartphone that puts the volume buttons on the very center of the display, and that's how you change the volume. Innovative. You don't see a lot of phones doing that these days, with volume rockers dead set in the middle of the screen, so it is by definition a new method, but again, that doesn't make it a good design. We like the volume rockers to not be on the display. We like them off to the side. And I think the important thing to remember here is that almost any innovation will have compromises and drawbacks to previous methods or more traditional generations. For instance, an axe does not require gasoline, but that does not make a chainsaw useless. I know I have a lot of axe examples here, okay? I like chopping wood. And this is where we can fall a bit more into the subjective, because in my opinion, a good innovation is one that creates a better experience or a new experience that people enjoy and appreciate, but that new experience also outweighs the compromises involved. There's very few times you can have a new innovative product without having drawbacks. For instance, the very first original iPhone, I think most people could admit that was very innovative. At the time, there were very few smartphones like it. There were a lot of new technologies we hadn't seen before that were first implemented with that first iPhone Steve Jobs introduced on stage. But of course, it had some drawbacks. drawbacks. It had a much worse battery life than pre-existing cell phones at the time, and it was far more fragile than a lot of smartphones at the time. You've all heard of how durable Nokia phones could be. The original iPhone didn't carry that out, even though it was more innovative, and not to mention more expensive than a lot of the cell phones available at the time. People appreciated that new innovation because it provided a new experience. And those new experiences, and those better experiences than what we were used to, warranted people the purchase. They were okay with spending more because they felt like they were getting something more. And they were okay with those drawbacks and compromises because for them, in the end, it would all be worth it. And I think this is the part most of the tech community online here needs to understand the most. This is the part I'm really gonna hammer in here, or axe in here, because I like talking about axes for some reason. A non-innovative product with just enhancements on things we already have can oftentimes be better for the consumer than an innovative product that has new methods or new features, because most often I think that there are lots of products that may be technically innovative, but their innovations don't outweigh the compromises involved. So you guys see me talk about the original iPhone and say how it's fragile and expensive, and then you may see me criticize the Galaxy Fold for the same reasons and say, well, Drew, why do you consider the original iPhone to be good and an innovative product, but you don't look at the Galaxy Fold that way? It's because it's not made by Apple and you're an Apple sheep. Yes, that's right. I'm totally biased and blind. You're welcome to just dislike and leave. I don't care. But no, honestly, the reason I treat the Galaxy Fold differently is because you have to remember that innovation in itself is not a selling point. Innovation can help bring new selling points, but it's a matter of whether or not those are good enough and outweigh the compromises that make it worth it to most people. So the original iPhone was providing such a new and advanced experience to people that didn't have that before with their current day cell phones, that the original iPhone's new features outweighed those compromises. So just because the Galaxy Fold is using new methods or it's more advanced, what features is it adding to our experience that we didn't have before? The fact that it folds is not a feature. Books can fold, paper can fold. That in itself is not an added experience. What the added experience is with the Fold is the larger screen that you can fit in your pocket. That's really all it boils down to. A lot of products are announced these days that I think do fall under the definition of innovative, but people misuse that with because it is innovative, therefore it is good. When in actuality, there are very little actual benefits or features that can be added to the user experience, which is why you can have so many products that are innovative but not good. The latest Xiaomi concept, I think, is a perfect example. A lot of people drooled over that phone and they loved looking at it because they'd never seen a phone like that before. But anytime I asked someone what was the benefit of using a phone with a display that wrapped around the back like that, no one could really come up with anything very good aside from, okay, you can take selfies with the rear-facing camera and also have a preview of yourself. Okay, that's the added feature. Aside from that, you have the compromises of it being expensive. You have the compromise of losing buttons. They showcase like widgets that show up on the side, but do people want to look at their phone from the side and check widgets that way instead of just having them at the top like everybody else? Maybe they do. That's not the point I'm trying to make. The point I'm trying to make is the mass market and everyday consumers buy into things that may be innovative or not, but they'll buy into those new innovations if they see those advantages and those added features to the user experience outweigh the compromises involved. Lots of people bought the iPhone XR this year, and now there's even more increased demand for the iPhone 11. Neither of these phones are very innovative. They're using traditional techniques. Nothing really involved with any of these phones is new. We've seen, LCD displays before. We've had dual cameras and single cameras before. We've had long battery lives. What's really innovative about those phones? Not much. Almost every feature they've added to that thing we've seen on previous generation smartphones. But why are they selling so well? It's because they've added enhancements to previous generation experiences that people care about, and that's why you're able to see products that aren't innovative drastically outsell products that are, because they prioritize what most people care about. The reason I think so many people misuse that term innovative and innovation is because when you watch these tech videos all the time and you're used to consistently opening up YouTube and watching some new announcement, it's very, very difficult to get excited for things that we've already had before. They're just a little bit better now. It's very, very hard to just get excited about better battery life or a faster CPU or more storage. It's much easier to get excited for the future or a completely redesigned look or a completely new form factor that we've never seen before. It's really easy to get hyped and invested in an announcement like that. And that's why I think you have so many companies opening up their R&D departments department, like Xiaomi, Oppo, Microsoft, and even Samsung to a certain extent, showing off things that aren't really ready and may not add that much to your user experience, but because they use new methods, they know people will applaud, people will be excited, even if the product is a colossal failure and no one wants to actually buy it. They just like getting the applause from the tech community. So many of us love to just praise a company, even if we don't want to buy that product. We just give it props, we give it respect for trying because it's cool, and we want companies to try new things. And I have nothing really against that. I just think that it really shouldn't be handled the same way an innovative product that adds to the user experience in a good way should be treated. And contrary to what a lot of people say online, I do truly believe that Apple still innovates to this day. It's just people act like it's something that has to happen every single year. And if you look back at Apple's history, their most innovative products, they don't come out once a year. They come out very, very rarely, and that's what makes good innovation so difficult. Just being innovative, I actually don't think is very hard. Just trying something new and doing something that no one else is doing, that in itself for tech companies is really not that difficult. What's difficult is finding something everyday consumers, not just YouTube commenters, can get excited for that's also innovative and new that no one else has tried yet that everyone wants to buy into. Those are the types of things that don't come out every single year. Those are the types of things you see once in a decade or once every 5 years. They're not the types of things you're just gonna click on YouTube once a week and find some new good innovative technology. That's what I keep wanting to preference with this video, is there's a keen difference between being innovative and between being good. I believe doing things like adding the ECG to the Apple Watch was incredibly innovative. No one had done that with a product you could buy over the counter before. The fact that Apple was able to stuff that into a wearable is quite innovative, and I even say AirPods are, even though there were Bluetooth headphones before the AirPods, the experience and the pairing method and the convenience of AirPods was something we really hadn't seen before. No other company had tried to mainstream wireless headphones like that, so that's why I consider AirPods a very innovative product. Even if they're not the first headphones with Bluetooth, they added a new method and a new experience. So by all definition, innovative. No, I don't think I could argue there's many innovative features on the latest iPhones. We've had Face Unlock before, we've had stereo speakers, we've had water resistance, we've had triple cameras. Heck, there are companies that have gone way further than that. But I feel like Apple is the type of company that doesn't like releasing products just for the sake of being innovative. They only want to release innovative products if they can add to the user experience something that wasn't available before. Apple doesn't like making things that lots of people don't enjoy and appreciate using. In fact, if we're in closure of this video and you guys were to ask me, well, Drew, what company do you think is being the most innovative right now? What company is leading the market with innovation? Who's conquering that innovative battle? It's not Microsoft, it's not Google, it's not even Samsung, it's not even Apple. This is coming from the Apple sheep, and I know a lot of you aren't gonna like it when I bring this company up because it's just not what you normally click for, but it's my personal belief that Tesla is a company innovating more than anyone else right now. If you look at what the automotive market has done over the past few decades and compared to what Tesla has accomplished in barely 2 decades, they are adding such unique and innovative methods to technology that's been in desperate need of rethinking, in desperate need of new ideas and innovative approaches. They have built a car company unlike any other on the planet and have been able to increase their deliveries of cars year after year after year. They recently just delivered 97,000 electric cars in their last quarter, which is an insane milestone considering all of them have self-driving tech. And I recently just rewatched their Autonomy Day keynote, which I highly recommend you watching, even if it may be kind of dry. You have to understand they're doing things to the car industry that no other company has ever even thought of doing yet. Figuring out how to use artificial intelligence and machine learning to make cars safer and how to eventually make them drive themselves. And we should even give them more props given they haven't even made that much cash yet. They lose money time after time after time, and sometimes they just barely scrap by enough revenue to keep their company afloat, but I think that's evident of how much they care about their true vision. Elon Musk and the Tesla team decided very early in this century that this is the future that cars are going into, and that they had to get there before anybody else did, and my goodness, how much have they gotten right so far? They knew electric cars were gonna be the future, so they bet big on them at first, and it is slowly paying them back. back, as they've invested so much in their supercharging network, so much in their battery technology, so much in their aesthetics and making sure not only are these cars clean and safe, but also fun to drive. And they've reached an entirely new demographic of people that normally aren't that interested in cars, that are suddenly willing to spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on vehicles that before they never would have spent on any. To me, that's a company that's doing far much more innovation than all these smartphone companies we always keep bickering about. I think the issue the tech community has right now is a complete obsession with displays. We are completely fascinated with any phone that can remove even just a camera hole. If we can remove a notch, if we can get that 0.1% higher screen to body ratio, or like the Xiaomi concept, get the screen to wrap around on the back, we just drool over that, and everyone just gets so excited with any phone that does something slightly out of the ordinary with a screen, like the Galaxy Fold. People go gaga for that kind of thing. Even though, what's the added user experience there? Oh, you get a larger screen that you can also comfortably fit in your pocket. That's the added feature. But people obsess over it because it folds, and we're not used to technology doing that. So I say, people, lay off the screens, okay? We get it. OLED technology can be wrappable, bendable, it can be circular, it can have curved corners. Let's not obsess so much over just display technology, okay? Let's look at the bigger picture and look at what companies are truly doing things that no other company has ever achieved before. And in my opinion, that's why Tesla deserves far more credit and far more attention than they get, and why companies like Xiaomi or Oppo or Samsung should get way less attention for just their innovative yet kind of pointless approaches at redesigning displays and giving them more angles and giving them more warps and curves. Displays on our phones work fine, okay? We can fit bigger ones in our pocket just by shrinking bezels, and most people are happy with their screens. You can go above and beyond with your screens, but honestly, I want to pay a little bit more attention to the car company that wants to put millions of self-driving cars on the road that are going to help save lives and be cleaner for the environment. Plus, also be really, really fast, very, very comfortable, and let me take a nap in my car one day as it just drives me to the destination I want to go to, so that I can focus on talking to people in the car, or watching TV, or using the internet on that awesome display inside Model 3s. That's innovative. That's a company that knows what they're doing and knows what people want before the rest of the market truly does. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you sticking around for this very, very long video, and I hope it got you to think. That's really all I was hoping to accomplish today. I want you all to just think a little bit differently about new products and what we truly get excited for. This is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you guys in the next one.